going on? Why are you doing this? So the nurse chick gives her a sedative. Uh, oh, I'm sorry. This is actually when they discuss maybe we should take her to a hospital. I'm sorry. I messed that up. And then after that little conversation, Mia comes out because she's been actually knocked out with a sedative. The nurse chick gave her one. She comes out from her room and she's got a shotgun now. She got the double barrel shotgun because it was in the house. I guess the people from the beginning of the film just left it there with shells. And she points the gun not really at anybody, just she fires it, and like I think a pellet from the shotgun shell hit David, her brother, in the arm, and he grazed him, and it knocked out a window. And then after that, she says it in a clearly demonic voice. She says, "You're all going to die tonight," and then she screams, windows break. And I'm trying to remember what happened here. She gets like knocked down by somebody, and then no. The nurse chick tries to like stop her and calm her down, but the girl Mia knocks down the nurse chick and pukes on her, blood red puke all over her face. Eventually, her brother and the other guy, the blonde guy, stop her. The nurse chick goes to the bathroom to clean up. No, not yet. She's like, "What's?" They ask the nurse chick, "What's going on?" And she's like, "I don't know. I gave her enough sedative to knock her out for hours." So after that, I think, let's see what happens here. Oh yeah, the reason that they don't just drive away also at this point is because in the original the bridge was out. In this one it's because the road flooded. So when they try to leave, there's like a huge flood of water passing through, so they can't leave the forest. So the girl that got puked on goes into the bathroom. She goes to get more sedatives. She goes to get another needle, more sedatives. Looks in the mirror, and she sees that her face is now fucked up. Like, the side of her cheek is, like, missing. You can see, like, her teeth and shit in there. And after she sees that, the mirror breaks. And I guess she becomes possessed. Blonde guy with the glasses starts to realize some weird shit's going on, and it might have something to do with the fucking book. Looks through the book, sees different pictures, and realizes, you know what, something weird is going on. It might have something to do with this. And he goes to the bathroom to check on the girl, and she's, like, sitting down away, like, her face is facing the wall. And he asks her, "What are you doing?" She turns around, and she's got a hunk of glass in her hand. A shard of glass, I should say. And her face is, like, hacked away, like it was in the mirror. Naturally, the guy's freaked out. He's like, "Oh shit, what the fuck is going on?" The door closes behind him. He falls down, and then the chick is now possessed by demons. She stabs him in the shoulder with the hung glass. Then she takes one of the needles, the hypodermic needles, and starts stabbing him over and over with it, even in the face, even cracks his glasses. And during the struggle, the toilet seat breaks, and he takes a chunk of the toilet and basically bashes her head in until it's mush. Then the lead guy, once again, has to open the door, and, the dude on the ground explains what's happening. And you get, like, a close-up shot that's kind of cringeworthy, but I don't know, it depends on who you are. He's got, like, the needle, the hypodermic needle, like, broke off from the syringe, and it's, like, stuck in his cheek, like, right below his eye. And he, like, grabs it, and he, like, pulls it out slowly. Okay. Good effects. I will say this one's got some great makeup effects. I'll give it that. After that, I'm trying to remember what happened here. It's a really forgettable movie, and I saw it a couple days ago. After that, the girl Mia, who was originally possessed, does some more crazy shit, and they end up throwing her in the cellar, of course. I'm trying to remember what happened. I think at some point, like, before she was thrown in the cellar, she, like, scratched the lead guy's girlfriend, the blonde chick, in the arm or something, so now she's infected with it, and then she gets thrown into the cellar. Then they lock her in there. The blonde guy says, "This has nothing to do with withdrawal. It has nothing to do with her going crazy. It has to do with this book. So he's kind of the voice of reason. He quickly realizes it has something to do with the fucking book. He says, wake up, man. It has something to do with the fucking witchcraft in the basement. That's one thing I liked about his character, is like, at least he's smart enough to realize this has nothing to do with drug addiction. Okay, this is clearly has something to do with the fucking book and all the crazy shit in the basement. So later on, the blonde chick who got scratched in her arm, she's looking at her arm, and this weird, like, pussy, bloody shit starts coming out, and it starts, like, spreading through her arm. It's getting all nasty and corroded. So she freaks out, and the chick who's possessed me in the basement says, no, you bitch, don't cut it off. She gets, like, an electronic meat carver, those little electronic meat carving knives, and she cuts her arm off, and, it splatters blood all over the place. And they just put fucking duct tape over it. They use duct tape a lot. The lead guy is clearly, his last name is Fernandez. Clearly he is Latino, because if you're Latino, you know that duct tape fixes everything. Because he just wraps duct tape around the bloody stump of her arm. Oh, I remember now, yeah. When she was in the cellar, she pretended to be normal, the girl Mia, and that's when the blonde chick went down there to check on her, and that's how she got scratched in the arm and got infected. And that's also where you get the scene with the box cutter, where she cuts her tongue down the middle, and whatever, not much of anything. And that's how she got infected, and, cut her arm off. And, eventually they're sitting around talking, and the blonde guy basically realizes that the stuff that was translated in the book, he figures out that there's 3 ways to stop these things and save the souls of the people that are possessed. Bodily dismemberment, burning them alive, or alive burial. Those are the 3 ways. Whereas in the original, it was just bodily dismemberment. And the lead guy, Shiloh Fernandez, David is his character's name, he says, I can't do that, I can't kill my sister, there's got to be another way to save her. And the blonde guy with the glasses is like, you're just a fucking coward, if you won't do it, I will. Then the chick who hacked her arm off, of course, now she's fully possessed. She comes out with a nail gun and starts shooting them. Hits like the guy David like a couple times in the arm. And this fucking guy, the blonde guy with the glasses, he gets it the worst because he gets hit with nails a ton of times. Like, he's got his arm out here like this, and the nails hit him in his arm, and he's like stuck with the nails in his arm, and it stuck to his chest. Then when the thing runs out of nails, the nail gun runs out of nails, she picks up a fucking crowbar, and the guy puts out his hand like this to stop the blow from hitting his head, and it like hits, and like his hand like splits in half, and then finally this guy David, the lead guy David, grabs the double barrel shotgun and blows her other arm off. And she falls down. I guess she's dead because she never does anything else after that. Finally, after that, and after that, of course, the main guy, David, Shiloh Fernandez, takes duct tape, and what does he do? Puts duct tape like around his arm, where his hand split in two, because duct tape fixes everything, and leaves him outside in the car. In the back of the car, basically saying, I'm going to go finish this once and for all. Pours gasoline all over the house. He's about to light it on fire. And, of course, the demonic, his sister, in the regular voice says, David, why are you trying to kill me? You promised you wouldn't give up on me, blah, blah, blah. He says there has to be another way. So he decides he decides basically, instead of burning her alive, he's going to bury her alive. So he gets some sedatives, goes into the basement, stabs her with the... No, not stabs her. He goes down there to find her with the sedative. And she attacks him. He's getting thrown around all over the place. And you get some fucking really bad shaky cam. And you never actually... It's so bad, too, because you never actually see her pick him up and throw him around the room. And the basement is flooded, and she's about to drown him when all of a sudden the fucked up guy from earlier comes up and it attacks her, saves him, but the demonic girl Mia stabs him in the side with a box cutter, and then that's when the lead guy takes the opportunity to stab her with the syringe and knock her out. And after all the shit that guy went through, getting stabbed in the gut with a fucking box cutter was what did him in, because after that he dies. So you see the lead guy take her out of the basement, and he takes two more syringes, two more needles, wraps them in wire, connects them to like a battery. He basically makes a homemade defibrillator. And takes the time to put a fucking red dress on her for some fucking reason. Takes her outside, digs a hole, he's burying her. She wakes up, and she's like, what are you doing? Why are you burying me? In her normal voice. And then he says, you're not her, I'm not going to listen to you. And she says some really nasty shit to him in a demonic voice, but eventually buries her. And when she stops saying shit, he just assumes that was it. The demon is now dead. Digs her out. And this is the thing that kind of bugged me. I guess we're supposed to let it go because it's like a supernatural thing. But when he unburies her and she's no longer possessed, there's no damage done to her body. There's no burns from the water. Her tongue isn't split in two. There's nothing. She's just normal like she was at the beginning of the movie. I guess that when they get possessed, that's like their demonic form. And that's what took all the damage? I don't know. I don't know. I guess we were just supposed to ignore that since it's a supernatural type film. And he takes the homemade defibrillator and he basically stabs her with the two needles straight into the heart and turns on this battery, which I don't even know why that would work. I thought electricity couldn't pass through plastic, but okay. And gives her like little quick electric shocks for like a couple seconds, and then turns it off, turns it back on, turns it on, turns it back off till she comes back, and she's normal. She's not a demon anymore. She's like, thank you for not giving up on me. They're about to leave. He goes back into the house to get the keys. Why he didn't just take the keys with him and keep them in his pocket when he first went outside is beyond me. But he goes back in to get the keys, and surprise, surprise, the blonde dude with the glasses, he's now a demon, and he stabs the dude in the neck with a pair of tweezers. And